them backwards, which are really going to help us with our addition and subtraction. So thank you for participating in those with me. If you are having to watch the meeting after this, the recorded version, we listened to the Number Rock place value song and the Number Rock counting by fives. But due to copyright reasons, I can't record them on the video and then put them up later. It gives me big fits. So please go and look at those. Let's do a problem together, boys and girls. I can see that some of you came prepared to our meeting. Awesome. Thank you so much. If for some reason you don't have your stuff, if it's nearby and you can get it, great. If you can't get it, then please just follow along with us. All right. Let's see. Who's going to be my person for the day? I'm going to pick on Rudy. Rudy, you're going to be my person. Rudy, at his birthday party, all right, got $100 from each of his grandmas. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to work through this. We're going to talk about how we're going to solve this problem. He got $100 from his grandmas. Oh, my goodness. You're so lucky. I would never get that much money from my grandmas for my birthday. So your pretend birthday grandmas gave you $100. Okay. And then got $40 from his dad and $50 from his and $5, sorry, from his big sister. His big sister's not that rich. She's not going to give him 50. She'll give him 5. Okay. So for his pretend birthday, Rudy got $40 more. All right, 40. And then Rudy's sister gave him $5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I drew my little place value sticks. I drew my little place value sticks to represent those numbers. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Now we are going to add those together and we're going to practice counting. Thank you guys for doing that along with me. So that would look like 100 plus 100 plus 40 plus 5, right? Okay, now let's add those big numbers together first. Add those big numbers together first. We would be adding 100 and 100 together. 100 plus 100 is, think about your place values. All you're really doing is adding 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1, and Zahedi's showing me on her fingers. Rudy's showing me on his fingers. Troy. Oh, Jaya, you just have 1 on. I need 1 plus 1, which together equal, very good, 2. And then adding those zeros in, 200. Very good. And then 40 plus 5. Now look at that. If I add it down the place values, what I'm doing is I'm doing 0 plus 5. Well, that's pretty easy. You guys can all do 0 plus 5. 0 plus 5 equals what? Show me on your fingers. Excellent. I should see 5 little fingers in the air. 0 plus 5 equals 5. I have nothing to add in my tens place value, so that comes down 4. 45. So 40 plus 5 equals 45. Well, once again, we're going to add in our place values. Ooh, I can get my whiteboards here to line up. 200 plus 45. Thinking about my place values, I'm going to add in my ones first. 0 plus 5 is, show me on your fingers, 0 plus 5. I see 5s in the air. Excellent. And then now I'm going to go to the, so I did my ones. Now I'm going to do my tens place value. 0 plus 4. 0 plus 4. Show me on your fingers how much 0 plus 4 is. 0 plus 4. So some of you guys kind of jumping around. Rudy, you can't seem to decide if it's 4 or 5. So let's try that. Put 4 in your head. Bloop. And then you have 0. Oh, I still just have the 4 in my head, right? So 0 plus 4 is 4. And then there's nothing to add to that 2 in my hundreds place value, so I bring it down 245. Rudy, did you know you got $245 for your pretend birthday? Oh my goodness. What a lucky duck.
Here is my
For pretend birthday, you made a lot of money. All right, boys and girls. Thank you very much. If you are working on a whiteboard, you may erase it. Get ready to move on to the next section with us. The next section. Troy, did you have a quick question or something to add that's on topic? Troy, I already called on you. You don't need to raise your hand again.
Let me see this.
When we're done with this meeting, can I tell Rudy something?
Okay, that would be at the very end. And remember, when I say if it's on topic, you may talk about it. If not, you'd say, "Ooh, I'll talk about it later." Okay. All right.
Okay.
So I want you guys, we're talking about counting by ones and counting by tens for our place values. And this is something where it's very, very helpful if you have some straws or popsicle sticks or something to use at home to just kind of practice this skill.
I'm not really going to use straws, but
you don't need to do it along with me right now. Okay? If you can, excellent. If not, then practice this later, okay? So what I want to do is we're talking about, can we mute our mics, please? All right. So when we are looking at our ones, we've got 1. Take away my whiteboard so maybe you can see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what do I have to do? I can't have any more ones. I have to do something.
Use a rubber band.
Ooh, thank you, Jaya, for raising your hand. Jaya, what am I going to do? Guys, when I call on you, I need you to kind of try to be as fast as you can, okay?
You count by tens?
Oh, I'm not going to count by tens once I get to 10. What am I going to do to that? Zahidi?
We're going to bundle it.
Very good. Every time I get to those 10 ones, we say, oh, you know what that needs to be? It needs to be a group of 10. And you would see that that goes in a bundle together.
I can't do it.
Right? Okay. So anytime we get 10 ones, it needs to become a bundle of 10. Jaya, I hope that you're thinking along with us and not just playing on that camera, okay? Think along with us. Oh, I see Amy just drew 10 ones and then circled it for a group of 10. Very good. However you want to do that, you may do that. Now that we're in our tens, we're going to talk about tens. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Can't work.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Hold on, I'm all the way behind.
10. And now I have 10 groups of 10. What happens to my 10 groups of 10? What happens to those 10 groups of 10? Zahidi?
They turn into 100.
Right, we bundle, they don't just magically turn into 100, but we bundle them together and they become a group of 100, right? So when we have 10 tens, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10 tens is a group of 100. Right? Just like 10 ones is a group of 10 that goes 10. 10 tens is a group of 100. 10 tens equals 100, right? In our song. I can sing you the whole thing again. And then same thing with, I'm losing my hundreds bundles all over here. I don't have quite enough bundles of 100. Okay. I did not have time to sit here and bundle 10 bundles of 100. But we're gonna do a little bit of remembering here. If we have tens in our hundreds place, 10 hundreds, how many would we have? Who remembers? 10 hundreds equal what? What's that next place value, Jaya?
1,000.
Excellent. Excellent. Right, when we have 10 ones, it moves to the tens place value. When we have 10 tens, it moves to the hundreds place value. When we have 10 hundreds, it moves to the thousands place value. Very good. Pat yourselves on the back. All right, so continuing to talk about that a little bit more. So if I have, let me tip this up just a smidge. If I see something and it says I have 1, 10, I know that's the same as 10. If I see something that says 2 tens, I know that's 20. 3 tens is 30. 4 tens is 40. 5 tens, 50. 6 tens, 60. 7 tens, 70. 8 tens is 80. 9 tens is 90. And then when we get to where it says 10 tens, that is 100. So we could say 110 is 10 tens or 100. Okay, Miss Amy, can you mute your mic for us, hon?
Okay.
Thank you. So if you guys were to build these numbers for me, if you were to build them, and I said, build me this number, how would you do that? How would you do that? Oh, Jaya, how would you do that?
Count by 100.
I think you're on the right track. Does anybody else, would anybody else know how to build me that number? Troy?
First, we gotta build the biggest number to the smallest number.
You know what? When you're actually building the number, it doesn't really matter. I usually recommend always starting at the ones place value just to get you in the habit, because that's when you're going to add is from the ones. But it doesn't really matter. But keep going. Tell me more.
7, 6,
And
5, 4.
so we add the 100 first, And then
Okay,
I'm on
so once again, it doesn't really matter which one's first, but you're gonna do hundreds first, okay? So you would draw a group of 100. Then how else would you?
and then we need the 20 by the tens.
So what's 20 gonna look like in tens? How many groups of 10?
2.
Two groups of 10. So if you had your straws or your sticks or whatever and you were building this, it would look like that. You would have one bundle of 100. If Sahidi was building this for me, she would have a big bundle of 100. Then she would have two groups of 10s. And then how many ones? How many ones, Zahedi, would you have? So Troy gave you the rest that you would have one group of 100. You'd have 2 10s. How many ones would you have, Zahedi?
Four.
Very good. You would build it with 4 ones. Excellent. Okay. So we're going to talk about how, like, right, that was a lot faster. That was a lot faster to be able to draw it in the place values than if I was to sit there and draw 124 ones, right? That would be kind of silly, wouldn't it, Rudy? If I were to draw 124 little dots to try to count to 124, okay? If we broke it up into the place values, we could do that. So let's talk about, let's keep doing that. Just one more time. We're going to do that one more time, and then we're going to do our benchmark number counting for just real quick. Okay, 476. How many bundles of, or how many ones would I have? How many ones would I have? Jaya?
476 ones.
Nope, I would not do 476 ones. That would be way too many ones. How many is in the ones place value? Think about our place values. Sophia? I've not heard from you, and maybe I'm just having a hard time seeing you because of that light right behind you. I can't see you, so I'm having a hard time seeing if you're raising your hand. But if we're looking at the number 476, how many in the ones place value, Sophia? How many in the ones place value?
10.
Well, we can't have 10s in the ones place value. That would move it to the 10s place value. So think about this. Ones, it always goes ones, 10s, hundreds, ones, 10s, hundreds. Who can tell me how many is in the ones place value, Rudy?
Six.
Very good. So I would have 6 little ones. How many is in the tens place value? How many is in the tens place value, Amy?
7.
Excellent. So we could draw 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you guys were building that number, you would have 7 bundles of sticks or 7 bundles of straws. And how many? So Amy, when you're building that, make sure that your 10s look kind of like more bundly. Otherwise, they just look like ones, okay? And how many hundreds would we have? How many hundreds? So Haiti?
4.
4 hundreds, right? And that would look like a big bundle to make sure that we know those are hundreds. Those would look like really big bundles. It's a lot easier to count out our number that way than it would be to just try to draw that. Whoa, Rudy, what are you doing? To try to draw that with 476 ones, right? That would be really hard. But to show those 4 bundles of 100, 7 bundles of 10, and 6 ones, we can build our number a lot quicker. What, Troy?
My marker is dried up and I can't. I'm gonna draw.
Okay. So Troy, until you can get another marker, you're just gonna have to work on paper. Okay.
Right.
All right. Now we're gonna start. We're gonna talk about benchmark numbers. Okay. Remember how we've been counting? If we count from 476 to 600, think about those benchmark numbers we're going to land on. Rudy, I want to see that you're paying attention and that you're working with us, not that you're just playing with your camera, okay? Show me that you are being an awesome math mind and you're trying your best work here with our math, okay? So what would we count by first to get us to a benchmark number? And I'm thinking we're probably going to have to get to a 10, right? In order to then count by bigger numbers. So what are we going to count by first, Jaya? Very nice, Amy.
5.
Oh, if I'm in a 6, can I count by 5s? No. Sahedi?
1s.
1's very good. I would go 476. We're counting by 1s, 477. Counting by 1s, 478. Keep going by 1s, 479. And we got to 480. Now we're at a group of 10. So now what can we count by to get us to another benchmark number? This is a benchmark number because we can change what we're counting by. Amy, what are we going to count by next?
We're gonna count by
Who can help her out? Rudy, please take your hood off just because it looks like it's becoming a distraction for you. You're having a hard day, bud. What do you think we're going to count by? If we counted by 1s, Rudy, what do you think is going to come up next? Now that we're at 80, we're at a benchmark number, 80. We get to change what we're counting by. What do you think we're going to count by?
90.
Oh my goodness. So he's not telling me what we're going to count by, but he told me what we need to count to. Right? So how many does it take us to get to 80 to 90, Rudy?
1.
Ooh, one group of 10. We're counting by 10s. If we're at 480 and we want to get to 490, we are counting by 10s. Boys and girls, pat yourselves on the back if you knew that. Our benchmark number, 480, we're counting by 10s to get to 490. Then we get to 500. And guess what? 500 is another benchmark number because now we get to count by something else to get us to 600. What is it that we get to count by to get us all the way to 600? Sophia, do you know? I can't see you, honey. You're so backlit. But do you know what's going to, are we going to count by from 500 to get us to 600?
Let me count by 1.
We're not going to count by 1s. That would be 501. That'll take us forever to get to the 600. We'd have to count 100 ones. So what's going to take us to 600 the fastest? We're not going to go by 10s. Who can help Sophia out? Who can help? Amy?
We're going to count by hundreds.
Very good. We're going to count by hundreds because 500 to 600, that is just 100. 100, whereas it would be 10 tens or it would be 100 ones, and that would take us forever. So we count by ones, then we count by tens for a couple, and then we get to count by hundreds to take us to that last number. Whoa, Troy, I'm having a hard time seeing that, bud. You're hurting my eyeballs. And you can always take a picture of your work and send it to me on Class Dojo. Okay, but I will do my best to try to look at it here. But sometimes when you're moving real fast, it hurts my eyes and I can't see it, okay? But I certainly appreciate that you guys are working along with me. Awesome job. Awesome job. Let's try to do one more very quickly, and we'll see where we get.
Oh, it sucks.
So this time we're gonna start at 47 and we're gonna get to 200. 47 to 200. So when we're at 47, what are we gonna count by first? What are we gonna need to count by first? Rudy?
Kyle, come here.
49.
Well, we can't just skip to 49, which would be counting by twos, because we go 47, 48, 49. We can't just count to 49, because that's not one of our benchmark counting. We're counting by ones, we're counting by tens, and we're counting by hundreds. Okay, I like where you're going to try to make your life a little bit easier, but we're not gonna to do that. It looks like Sophia might be telling me count by tens, but that would bring me to 57. I could kind of count by tens, but I think it's easiest when we count starting on a by 10, starting with that 0 at the end, but you can do it either way. It looks like Zuhaidi is counting by ones. Very nice, Zuhaidi. She's going to go count by ones. 48, 49, and she got us to 50, counting by ones. Now what do we count by? Troy?
Tens.
Very good. Now we're going to count by tens. 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and finally we are at 100. Very good. Now that we're at 100, are we going to keep counting by tens? That would take us a lot longer. What could we do? What could we do to make our lives easier? Do I see lots of hands? Jaya, what are you going to do? What should we do?
Count by
We're not going to count by ones, Rudy. That would take us forever. Remember, we're trying to get to 200. If we started counting by ones, we'd have to count 100 ones. That would take us a long time. Amy, what are we going to count by?
we count by hundreds.
Very good. We're going to count by 100 to take us to 200, and we got there. So when we get to these numbers that we can change what we're counting by, those are called benchmark numbers. Very nice work, Suhaidi. I can see that big, beautiful brain of yours working hard. So this is what we would be doing. We'd count by ones until we got to the benchmark number of 50, and then we can change what we're counting by, which would then be to tens, until we got our benchmark number 100, and then we can change what we're counting by, which would be 100, to get to our final number of 200. Very good, boys and girls. Thank you guys for working along with me. Troy, do you have anything to add?
Can we do 500 to 1,000?
Ooh, well, I think we could do that, because I think that would be a really fast one. Because if we started at 500 and we were going to 1,000, 1,000, what would we count by? Are we going to count by ones? If you're shaking your head, no way, Miss Kennison. They're giving me a thumbs down. You are correct. We're not going to count by ones. What are we going to count by? Looks like Sophia's telling me 10. Sophia, that seems to be your favorite number. We are not going to count by tens. That would take us forever to get to 1,000. I see a couple of people raising their hands. I see Rudy trying to build the number with his fingers. Rudy, what number are you trying to share with us?
100.
100. Thank you guys for raising your hands and doing that work along with us. Excellent. 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and our final number of 1,000, all counting by hundreds. Very good. Very good. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys have a wonderful lunch. A wonderful lunch. Please give yourselves a pat on the back and remind your parents to please go onto the Google Doc and sign up for conferences on Class Dojo, okay?
What?
So actually, Troy, if I could get your grown-up, if you could have your grown-up on the computer in just a minute, that would be very, very wonderful.
Google what?
It's a Google Doc. I will just put it up on the computer and let your mom or your dad or your grown-up, whoever's there with you, come up with a time, okay? Everybody else, so you stay on the computer. Yeah, you go get your grown-up. Everybody else, goodbye.